Now, the Russian president has blamed Ukraine's leadership for worsening relations between the two neighbours. Dmitry Medvedev says tensions between the two countries have hit a rock bottom and Moscow will delay sending its new ambassador to Kiev until ties improve. Daria Pushkova has more.
There may have been silence from Moscow and Kiev for a while, but Russia is still far from content with the current state of affairs between the two countries. A new message on Dmitry Medvedev's video blog states clearly the strain in relations has hit unprecedented levels. According to the president, the leadership in Kiev took an openly anti-Russian stand following Georgia's attack on South Ossetia, when President Yushchenko stood side by side with his Georgian counterpart after the assault on Tskhinval.
Ukrainian weapons were used to kill civilians and Russian peacekeepers. Russia continues to experience problems caused by a policy aimed at obstructing the operations of its Black Sea fleet, and this is on a daily basis and in violation of the basic agreements between our two countries. Sadly, the campaign continues to oust the Russian language from the Ukrainian media, its education, culture and science.
So President Medvedev said he would postpone sending a new ambassador to Kiev until the chilly winds blow over.
It's high time to figure out a new strategy towards our close neighbor. We are used to thinking that brother nations means brotherly leadership. But looking at Ukraine's actions, they are very unfriendly, and this should stop.
According to a recent opinion poll in Ukraine, its population is also tired of a leadership that constantly provokes conflict with Russia.
More than 80% of our respondents, both in the east and the west of the country, say that Russia-Ukraine relations need improving. There's a lot of people in Ukraine whose attitude towards Russia is very positive, and those people are just not happy. They want a change for the better.
Even historically strong economic ties are currently fragile. Ukraine's deal with the EU earlier this year to reconstruct its gas pipeline network is seen by Russia as an infringement of its accord with Kiev, reached after the last gas supply dispute in January.
Bypassing Russia, Ukraine's political leaders do deals with the European Union on supplying gas from Russia, and have signed a document that completely contradicts the Russian-Ukrainian agreements reached in January this year.
Amidst the political turmoil, some analysts predict another winter of discontent over gas supplies.
I'm afraid we're going to have a really bad crisis this winter on the transit problem with Ukraine. At the elections, I think Yushchenko will lose. His ratings are very low. In Ukraine, if you want to be a president, you should integrate public opinion. You should find compromises. And finding compromises with Russia is especially important in Ukraine. So in Ukraine, when you take a one-sided position, pro-Russian or anti-Russian, you're out of the political game.
Ukraine's due to go to the polls in January, and Russia hopes a change of leadership could help improve bilateral ties.
It's hard to believe President Yushchenko will hear this latest signal coming from Moscow, as he has made anti-Russian actions the trademark of his foreign policy. But President Medvedev's message is likely to be picked up by those aspiring Ukraine's presidential hot seat, and many hope it will be for the better of both countries. Daria Pushkova, RT.